It's been well over a year since I've done a Gauntlet game, and for a while now I wanted to review every version of Gauntlet Legends. Sadly, due to technical complications, I really couldn't.
Until now.
But now, I'm able to finally play all three console ports, so we'll check out the last two for Nintendo 64 and Dreamcast to see which of the three versions is the best one to play. And with that in mind, let's begin by covering Gauntlet Legends for Nintendo 64. Gauntlet Legends was developed and published by Midway Games in the year 1999. It's the first port of three. Legends is an arcade-style hack-and-slash dungeon crawler. In Legends, you can play as one of four characters and explore four realms on a journey to defeat a demon who's attempting to conquer the world of Gauntlet.
Intriguing!
Summoner's brother, Garm, using the power of the 13 Runestones, summons Skorn, a powerful demon that can only be controlled by someone using said stones. But he breaks free of Garm's control, slays him, and begins to conquer all four realms. Summoner calls forth the aid of heroes from each realm, the mage, the warrior, the valkyrie, and the archer, as they must explore each realm, weaken Skorn's control, and slay his guardians to finally face him and end his reign of terror. When starting the game, you'll be given a choice of one of four characters to play as, with four color options of red, blue, green, and yellow each. Each character specializes in a different stat of strength, magic, armor, and speed, meaning one will be more tankish but slow, and one is fast yet weak. Whichever you choose will be the only character you'll play as. Given Legends works on a profile basis, so if you want to play as the warrior instead of the archer, well, start a new game in profile. You have warrior, mage, valkyrie, and archer to pick from. I always personally play as the mage, unless it's Dark Legacy, where I'm a knight main. Once you've chosen which of the four sounds best for you, pick your color, then pick your 6-letter name. Now, it's time to begin. The Gauntlet formula of throwing your weapon, gathering gold, eating food to heal, and destroying generators to stop enemies from spawning in is very much intact. The only thing that's different is the 3D perspective. You have an attack button, potion button, and turbo button that also acts as a sprint option if you want to use up your turbo gauge for that instead. But that turbo comes in handy when dealing with lots of enemies or anything that's attacking you up close. There's an inventory system for your items, allowing you to store stuff for more important moments like bosses, or when you're close to dying or just in some type of tight spot. These items include 3-way shot, acid breath, lightning amulet, rapid fire, turbo shot, invisibility, stopping time, and more. Your goal in each level is to get to the teleporter at the end. Along the way, you'll collect keys to open locked doors and chests, shoot barrels to find stuff, and even hidden locations. Destroying those generators to stop enemies from overwhelming you at times, locating key items to unlock new realms, and the final battle. Gauntlet can be played solo or up to 4 people in this version. I never had more than 2 people play a Gauntlet game together and always wanted to experience that 4-player co-op, just never had the chance. Oh well. But anyways, if enemies get up close to you, they can and will shred your health points to 0 so fast, you'll never notice it till it's too late. Don't help that when you get hit, you flinch, giving them more chances to attack.
Wait, what? What the fuck? What the hell? What kind of fucking game is this?
Just like PlayStation 1, you can store items to be used later, which is such a great thing to have, unlike Gauntlet Dark Legacy on PlayStation 2, where everything must be used immediately. Of course, this inventory system means you'll easily cheese any of the 4 main bosses with ease though.
You are now entering the Dragon's Lair.
Your main goal is to get to Skorn. However, you must collect Runestones to unlock his realm. There's 13 total, with 3 in each realm, with the last one being within the battlegrounds, as Skorn's forces besiege Summoner's Tower. Once you've gotten all of these, you can go and face Skorn for one last battle. In Dark Legacy, you needed crystals to unlock realms, and then golden claws and feathers on top of that. Here in Legends, however, you just need to touch obelisks hidden throughout each realm. Once you touched all in that realm, it'll unlock the next realm. Some of these are easier to find than others, with backtracking involved. There's 4 guardians of Skorn and the shards needed to get to the cathedral to face him. But there's also 4 secret weapons that can be used to weaken a boss. But these are very hard to find in various levels, scattered throughout each realm, but can make a difference in actually surviving your encounter with these guardians.
You are now entering the
Yeah, boy.
You have 4 realms of mountain, castle, town, and ice, each with their own enemies, hazards, guardians. Some of the locations are actually part of different realms just merged, like how town has both town province and sky province levels within it, which were separated in Dark Legacy as they each had their own respective realms to boot. However, the rest are basically all the same with no mixing involved. Mountain is your first realm, full of orcs, lava creatures, scorpions, and a dragon boss. The last realm you'll explore is ice, with snow demons and a yeti boss.
You are now entering Yeti's Cavern.
My favorite of these realms is easily town, and my least has to be ice. The ice one for being too huge and maze-like, and town for being full of horror, zombies, and just a nice atmosphere and soundtrack to boot. The graphics and art style just really complements this realm. As you gather gold, you can spend it at the shop. Walk into Summoner for a menu to pop up, select the shop, and use the gold to buy items, food, and of course, stat boosts. But given how little gold there is in this game, you're not going to be wanting to spend most of it at all.
Aw, but why?
Instead, save it, as even 10,000 gold will only translate to 1,000 health points worth of food. Trust me when I say this game is a bitch. You'll die a lot, and gold is not exactly abundant. Thankfully, all this was fixed in Dark Legacy on PS2. There's a door with a question mark in every realm. By standing on it, you'll be teleported to a treasure room, where you must gather 50 coins with a time limit to unlock secret characters, What's annoying about this game is you'll easily get all 50 coins and have nothing left to do but sit there and wait out the timer. Once you do, you'll clear the level and have a new character unlock, despite there being no pop-up or voice lines from Summoner telling you you've unlocked something. As for the characters themselves, they're just reskins of your 4 options. The Minotaur is the warrior, Jackal is mage, Tigress is archer, Falcon is Valkyrie. They're just beast forms. With one additional character to unlock in the battlegrounds, this will be Summoner himself, who's just the mage. Each realm has a guardian that's protecting the shard needed to get to Skorn's cathedral. These all play the same, however, so there's no real diversity in how you approach each one. Just throw your weapon, hide behind cover, use the secret weapon if you got one, and eventually, they'll die. It wasn't until Dark Legacy where the Guardians became more complex in their attacks. The Mountain Realm has a dragon, Castle has the Chimera, Province/Town has the Plague Fiend, and the Ice Realm has a Yeti boss. Out of all of them, I say the Plague Fiend was the toughest, only because I couldn't find the secret weapon to weaken him. After you've collected all 4 shards from the Guardians, it's time to go to the Cathedral and face Skorn once and for all, fighting an endless horde of minions along the way, unlocking pathways via switches, attempting to stay alive so you can fight Skorn with barely any items to collect as you get ready for the final showdown. Then you teleport to his location to finish this fight.
You are now entering the altar of Skorn.
Skorn, however, goes down like a bitch. Wait, what? I died at least 3 times to the Plague Fiend, and you're telling me the final boss is a piece of cake? Oh wait, I know where this is going. Yeah, it's not over yet, as we need to go into the battlegrounds, fighting more minions and getting the 13th and final Runestone, so we can actually go to Skorn's realm and face him for real this time. So after well over an hour of my life wasted on the terribly designed battlegrounds realm, I got to deal with yet another gauntlet of switches and endless spawning enemies as we move to the teleporter to Skorn's final location and the true final battle. Yeah, it turns out he's a little strong here, and since I have to deal with that gauntlet again just to get to him and die several more times in a row, I attempted to cheat to give myself a better chance, given there's no gold in most levels and I needed to beat Skorn to finish the game. Even with max health, you'll still die fast, as he just spam hacks you to death with attacks that have a large damage radius, and one that will drain over 1,000 health points via the breath attack. Plus the cheat codes don't actually work for some reason. so I never could defeat Skorn in this version of Gauntlet Legends, and since I don't want to waste several more hours of my life grinding for food and gold just to end up dying yet again, I'll just call it quits here. This game is
About to die.
Bullshit!
At least when it comes to the music, Gauntlet Legends shines. It's great stuff, whether it's something more horror-centric or fantasy-esque. There's a great variety that would only be outdone by Dark Legacy later on. There's a few glitches here and there you'll come across, like enemies clipping through walls to get to you, or not being able to cross a path even though there's a floor there, or you can't exit a level because there's a tiny wall bump in the way, so you have to use a speed item to get over it. Same thing with getting to a runestone for me. Seriously, what is this? This is a terrible thing. If I didn't store that speed boost, I would never get the runestone to beat the game. When it comes to the ports, I've already reviewed the PS1 version. The differences between PS1 and Nintendo 64 are kind of night and day in a way. Here's some screenshots from the Gauntlet wiki detailing everything. Basically, Nintendo 64 is more like the arcade original, but has exclusive access to the province/town and ice realms, but is missing 2 exclusive realms only available to the PS1 version, those being Forest and Desert, yet those are also in the arcade version. This is the first game to include Summoner's Tower and the shop. The wizard's rock shower attack can instantly kill any golem, and once you've beaten the game, you'll get a permanent halo item on your character to combat death from ever being a threat again, even though it's only 100 health points. Nintendo 64 levels are larger, while PS1, given hardware limitations, are tinier and more straightforward. Then finally, Nintendo 64 has 4-player multiplayer, meanwhile PlayStation 1 was only capable of 2, with no multi-tap support for up to 4. Oh, and yes, the PS1 version has more abundance of gold and items cost a lot less, meaning it's easier to keep your health high, let alone full, unlike on Nintendo 64. And that's it for differences. at least till we get to the Dreamcast version eventually, so let's move on. This section is way too long.
Is it over?
And with all that said, we're now down to one more version of Gauntlet Legends, that being Dreamcast, which we should have done before the end of June. I'm looking forward to it since it's the only port to be accurate to the arcade original experience. So I'm curious to see just how that will play, for both better and worse. So let's wrap up this review and move on already to other stuff.
Oh, thank God.
At the end of the day, Gauntlet Legends for Nintendo 64 is a mediocre game that I can barely recommend. It's too repetitive, lackluster, clunky, and don't get me started on how levels drag on forever. Some are so poorly designed it takes over 20 minutes to find your way through them. Then there's the lack of gold and how much everything costs to begin with. Jesus Christ, it's like our current economy. You'll always be struggling to keep your health high enough to get through levels, especially against bosses or even Skorn for that matter. Then there's glitches where you can't progress unless you use an item to break the game in the first place. It's just a worse version of the PS1 game. Which was a lot more fun and less bullshit. This is easily the worst version so far, and one day we'll take a look at the Dreamcast port, which I've heard great things of, especially because it's what they build Dark Legacy off of. One of my favorite games of all time. Till then, however, anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.